So here's a print mail template. When you open it up, let me show you how I got here, okay? So I went all my steps. I created my mailing file. I imported my addresses. I went to views to make sure that the address looks good. I did address correction. I skipped groups, don't need that. Went to mail sort, ran my mail sort. After I run the mail sort, down here where it says group, last pre-sort results, the addresses are now in the sorted order, ready to go into the trays. And then the next step is I go to print mail, and I open up a template. Now, hopefully you have a template that's already built that works for your company. I'm going to double-click this one here that says number 10 envelope. And you see how it opens up? This is what we call the design mode. This is where you can move the address block. You can add in fields or delete fields. And then up in the top left, you click over here where it says go to preview mode. And it shows you the first address on your list. You click up here in this little arrow button. There's the second address. And so you can step through your entire list. And when it's time to print, when you're happy with the way it looks, you click on this printer icon, and then you can print. Now you can choose to print. Maybe you only want to do one tray at a time. Down here you can say tray range 1 to 1, or you can tell it to pause between containers, which says it's going to pause after it does tray number 1, and it'll give you a chance to put all those pieces into tray number 1. And then you'll get a resume button. You click next and resume, and then it'll print out all the pieces for tray number 2. And then you put all those in the second tray, and you can work your way through your mailing doing it that way. Now, a lot of times, if you're doing automation letters into a tray, those first trays are going to be all one bundle. There's basically no bundles typically within the first tray, because they're all automation letters, and they don't want any bundles in automation letters. But as you get toward the end, you might get separate bundles because there's not enough pieces, so they want it to be bundled. So again, it might end up being that you really don't see any bundles. But if you're mailing flats, the big wide, something like large catalog size piece, then you may have multiple bundles within a single sack, and then you'll see lots of separate bundles. But if you want to, you can just do tray. I think it's a good idea. Just do tray number 1 to tray number 1. You do print, and then when it gets done with that, then you come back and you put in tray number 2 to go to tray number 2. Now, one thing I was going to recommend, it's a good idea to have the tray number printed right on the mail piece. Here I got tray number 1, and the other thing I've got here is the sort position. So that's tray number 1, and you see as I step through this mailing, there's piece number 5. It's in tray number 1. But if I go to, say, piece number 800, so I've got it jumped ahead to piece number 800, I can see here this one goes into tray number 3. It's a really good idea to print the tray number on the mail piece. That way, if you're printing and you lose track of which one is printing out, then you can just look at the mail piece and see that this one should be in tray number 3, for example. Let's say that it gets wrinkled, goes in the printer, and the printer jams on number 14. I pull it out. I can just let the printer keep printing because I pull the ones off to the side that I want to redo. And then if I need to redo piece number 14, when I get done printing everything, I just go in here, I go to piece range, I put in number 14 to number 14, and now I'm just going to print only that piece, and that way I can reprint just the ones that I need to redo, and I know it goes into tray number 1, so I put it in tray number 1. So when you're printing, you don't want to have to stop the printer if one gets smudged or gets a little bit wrinkled. You just pull it off and put it in a pile. And when you get done printing all of the pieces, then you take that pile, you see what number it is, and you just reprint each one separately at the end and put them back into the tray they belong in. Now in the automation, non-automation, it doesn't matter that they're in the order. Piece number 14 doesn't need to be right after piece number 13 inside the tray. With automation mailing, the only thing that matters is that it gets into tray number 1. It doesn't matter that they're in the order, that they're in the piece number order. They just need to be in the right tray, and that's close enough.